Is Tarkov PVE mode ruining the game, or is it saving it? Let's talk about the most controversial thing in Tarkov right now. PVE mode.
I see him.
Yeah, I said it. Some players think it's the best thing that ever happened to Tarkov. Others think it's soft, pointless, and completely against what Tarkov is supposed to be. So which one is it? Is PvE for noobs? Or is it actually the best way for new players to experience Tarkov? First, let's be honest about something. Tarkov is brutal, not hard, like Dark Souls hard. I mean, soul-crushing hard. You can spend 30 minutes gearing up, organizing your stash, building the perfect gun, and then die 15 seconds into the raid to some level 60 gigachad who's been playing Tarkov for 6,000 hours. That's not a learning experience to me. That's just pain. And this is exactly where PvE mode starts to make sense. Because suddenly, you actually get to play the game. You can explore maps without getting instantly deleted. You can learn extraction points. You can understand quests. You can experiment with weapons. You can actually build guns instead of donating them to sweaty players. For beginners, that's huge, because Tarkov has one of the deepest weapon modding systems in gaming. But in normal PvP, most new players never even get to enjoy it. They die before they even fire the gun. They spend 20 minutes building. And then there's the character progression side of Tarkov. Skills, hideout upgrades, economy management, quest progression. All of that stuff is actually really fun when you're not constantly getting wiped by players who already know every angle, every spawn, and every meta strategy. PvE lets you focus on the RPG side of Tarkov, and honestly, that part of the game is incredibly good. But here's where the controversy starts, because the biggest argument against PvE mode is this. Tarkov was never meant to be fair. The tension, the fear, the adrenaline of knowing another player could be around the corner. That's what makes Tarkov Tarkov. Without the threat, some people say that the game becomes just another looter shooter. And they're not entirely wrong, because PvE removes the unpredictability of human players. AI scavs don't think like real players. They don't camp weird angles. They don't bait gunshots. They don't rat in the bush for 20 minutes waiting for you to walk by. Players do. And that chaos is part of the magic. But let's flip that argument for a second, because here's the real question. If PvP Tarkov is so great, why do so many new players quit after a few days? The reality is the learning curve is insane. New players are dropped into raids with veterans who have thousands of hours, max skills, map knowledge burned into their brain. It's like learning hockey, but your first game is against the NHL. That's not competition. That's just a massacre. PvE mode fixes that. It gives players space to learn, to experiment, to enjoy the game systems, to understand Tarkov before they're thrown into the Shark Tank. And that might actually grow the Tarkov player base. Because instead of quitting, players might stick around long enough to eventually try PvP. But now here's the real controversial take. Some of the loudest people calling PvE players noobs are the same players who need new players to stomp in order to feel good at the game. Think about that. If new players disappear because the game is too punishing, those sweaty players eventually end up fighting only other sweaty players. And suddenly Tarkov becomes a full-time job instead of a game. So maybe PvE mode isn't ruining Tarkov. Maybe it's actually saving it. By giving new players a way to fall in love with the game first, instead of quitting before they ever get a chance. Now don't get me wrong, PvP Tarkov will always be the pure Tarkov experience, the tension and the risk, the crazy stories that come from other player encounters. That's something PvE will never fully experience, but if someone wants to play Tarkov for the weapon modding, the character progression, the hideout building, and just enjoy the world without being hunted by level 60 gigachads every raid, then, honestly, who cares? Let people play the game the way they enjoy it. So the real question isn't, is PvE for noobs? The real question is, Why are some players so mad that other people are having fun with Tarkov? I want to hear your take. Is PvE mode ruining Escape from Tarkov, or is it exactly what the game needed? Let me know in the comments.